Hello, hello, hello. It's me again, Tubi Mom. Well, as you can see, I made it out the hospital. They didn't get me yet. Well, anyway, I am home. Am I better? Yeah. Am I grateful? Yes. I'm so happy to be home with Khalik Isaac again and in my own bed and just away from those machines and those doctors. Um, I tell you, I am 59, and that was the most horrific hospital experience I ever had. People had been warning me not to go in the hospital with the COVID and everything that's so rampant here in Georgia. Well, I didn't mean to go in the hospital. What happened was I went to my regular doctor's appointment, and then I started vomiting. He examined me, and my stomach was very hard, and it was horrific pain, and he prayed with me. My doctors always pray with me. Excuse me, I dropped my water. He's been my doctor for 12 years. He's seen me through a lot of things, and he begged me not to go home because he knows me. I'll go home and try to fix it myself. And he didn't want me to go home and possibly die because he knew it was some kind of bowel obstruction. So he called 911, and away I went in the ambulance to the ER. Well, the doctor called my daughter because I didn't want to talk to anyone at that point. I don't know about anyone else, but when I get ready to go to the hospital, usually I have a few days. Like I'm getting sick slowly. I'm going into CHF. I can't breathe well for a few days. But this took me totally off guard. I wasn't prepared mentally. Because for me, I have to be prepared mentally to go in the hospital. Because these doctors, nurses, will drive you cocoa for Cocoa Pops. Plus, you have to be your best advocate. No matter what they say, you have to ask the questions you want to ask. And if they can't give you the answer, you send them to get you someone who can give you the answer. Your body is your temple. You don't let anybody go in your temple without your permission, just looking around and doing stuff. No, it don't happen that way. So anyway, I get rushed to the hospital. And of course, when Tubi Ma gets rushed to the hospital, she always gets admitted. It hasn't changed in all these years, and I really don't feel it's going to change. Anyway, they decided I had not one, but two blockages. One part of my small intestine was kinked, and the other part was blocked. Well, I have this horrific hernia that got repaired. Ooh, my son is in his 30s. So I got it 30 years ago. I waited 6 years to get it repaired. It was big. And he put a 3-inch square mesh to hold my hernia in. It's abdominal hernia. And it fell out. And I let it fall out. I didn't want to go through that surgery again. Well, as I let it fall out, it kind of worked its way all the way out into my abdominal cavity, where the large intestines and the small intestines are wrapped around each other. Small intestines came all the way down and loops itself around the big intestines. I'm sorry, guys. This may be too graphic for some of you, but the truth is the truth. And this is how critical it was. This happened before I got rushed into surgery. And I almost died. It was a sick puppy. Blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, I know I shouldn't be, but I'm afraid of dying. I want to see my grandkids become great things. But I am not afraid to go to my Father God. I know it sounds silly, right? But I'm a silly person sometimes. So anyway, when I went into the hospital, as you know, they put a NG tube down my nose, which hurt like the dickens. Oh my God. It felt like they had put a power drill down my nostrils. It hurt so bad. And usually when they do that, it doesn't keep hurting. And I told them that. I said, this thing hurts. And it wouldn't let up. And it was pumping the stomach fluids out. And each shift would get like 500 cc's. I don't know, 500 cc's must be my lucky number. But anyway, so they started pumping my stomach immediately. And I guess the routine for obstructive bowel, oops, sorry guys about that, or kink bowel is to give IV fluids and let it relax. Because I'm not a candidate for surgery, as you know, because of my other complication. They feel that unless I'm ready to die, they're not going to do surgery because I might not live through the surgery. So my odds are kind of low. God put me here. God's going to take me away. Okay? So I don't worry about odds. 1% to me is what God gives you. Then that's what you work with. So anyway, they put me in the hospital. And of course, you know, with COVID, one person can come. I have a huge family base that gives me support sometimes. But no, they love me deep down somewhere in the crevice of their hearts. Well, you know, sometimes I'm not the nicest person either. But when you're sick, you're not feeling well, you say stuff, you do stuff. And some people get offended. Hey, it's part of life, right? I'm not excusing it, but it does happen. So anyway, I get in there, and what they drilled and drilled and drilled into my head, is that I had to have my respiratory thing on, this thing, my Trilogy, every night to save my life, or I would die without it, because the carbon dioxide would build up in my lungs, lack of oxygen to my brain, and just kill me. Well, guess what, guys? The first night, I never got a Trilogy machine. I was scared all night. Stayed up all night, asking, where's the respiratory? Where's the respiratory? She's here. She's there. She's everywhere. She's like Superman, Spider-Man. But she was everywhere but where I wanted her to be, which was in my room, hooking me up to a respirator. I don't know why this thing is beeping. I do know why, because I'm talking and I'm not deep breathing. Let me take a couple of deep breaths. You know, guys, it's really funny. This started out being my son's channel, so I could show you how much love a special needs child can give you. Isaac has blessed me for 10 years, loving me unconditionally, making me laugh, making me happy. Then all of a sudden, my health took a turn. And now it seems like we're in a battle royale of who could be the sickest. He seems more better than I am. Isn't that a twist? So anyway, not only did they not give me my Trilogy machine, they didn't give me any of my heart medications, especially my Lasix, since they were filling me full of fluids. Well, if you heard some of my earlier things, I can fill up with 20 liters of fluids in no time. I can gain 5 pounds a day, 10 pounds in 2 days, go into critical CHF in less than 12 hours. And I felt myself creeping towards that way. So the next morning, I made it through the night, through the grace of God. The next morning, you know, I am pissed. These people are trying to kill me. I don't know who put the word out, who put the hit out, but they were not trying to save Tubi Mom. They were trying to kill me. So anyway, then I get this condescending, greater than thou nurse. Now, mind you, I bow myself down humbly to the medical field and what they've been going through since COVID started. What is it? Over a year, almost 2 years now. They're overworked. They've always been overworked, always been short-staffed and underappreciated. But where this condescending, holier-than-thou nurse came from, I do not know. I guess the new name for people like that is Karen. Well, I had a Karen. And I don't know who the freak she thought she was talking to. She told me, well, the hospital policy is you only get meds the next morning. Well, I pulled out my camera. You know I'm slow. I'm so slow with this camera phone. Sometimes I walk backwards. I don't really know how to record. I'm learning. I don't know how to go online. I don't know how to edit. You get what you get. You get the truth. You get real, actual, down to my heart motivation. So I tried to get this wonderful, uppity nurse on camera. So I asked her to repeat what she just told me, because that was a serious lawsuit. How dare you tell me that's a policy? Like I dropped down from outer space. You get meds as you need them, no matter what time of night it is. If I need more Lasix, I need more Lasix. You call my doctor, you get them on the phone, they order it, and you give it. I didn't drop out of space. This is not space time, okay? So she kept, I'd rather not be on camera or recorded. So I don't know the laws or the bylaws of YouTube. I'm not that schooled yet. I am learning. I'm a baby on YouTube. So I didn't record her against her wishes. She wasn't a policeman. But that prejudice was just seeping out and oozing out of her pores. And I said to myself, I'll be damned in 2021 that this little, barely can wipe her butt straight nurse is gonna talk to me like I'm a piece of garbage, like I don't have common sense, like I don't have enough intellect to understand simple English. And not only that, I watched her drop one of my medications on the floor and she didn't know she did it. So she goes, here are your pills. No, those weren't my pills, and I wasn't going to tell her. I said, you know what? You're racist and you're prejudiced, because I've been in the medical field long enough to know that if that nurse was doing that to me, she did it to other people. She did it to the CNAs that worked under her. She did it to the laundry people. She did it to housekeeping. She did it to whoever she could do it to. And you know what? It wasn't happening on my watch, okay? I politely, as I could, without, well, I did curse. I said one curse word. Told her to get the hell out of my room. Do not return. And I wanted to see the nurse manager. Well, she said, at least I tried to give you meds. If I could have got out that bed, whoo, let me tell you, I was born and raised in New York. And that old-time young girl creeped up and I was going to beat her like she owed me something. But I probably would have died or fell on the floor, and it would have been catastrophe for me. So I kept my butt still. Like I said, I do have good sense when I want to. So anyway, later on, about 2 hours had passed. I hadn't seen a doctor. I hadn't seen anyone come in. So I rang my bell. Guess who comes back in my room. Oh, Miss Ku Klux Klan herself. I was like, why are you in my room? Because I don't care who pays your hospital bill. Now, I have insurance, and it hurts me when they take it out. But if you pay insurance, I don't care if you're on Medicaid. That nurse, that doctor's getting paid to be there. Maybe they're not getting paid their worth, but they're getting paid to do a job. And they take they swear on an oath to save lives. So she came in my room and she said, if I put you off on another nurse, that's just going to be a burden. You know how your head kind of turns and cricks? I got a neck injury, so I got to be careful. My head clicked to the side. And I said, that is not your decision to make. You need to leave my room and get me the nursing supervisor or the nurse manager like I requested. You do not run things here. She got out my room. The doctor came in. He talked to me. Now, evidently, she probably got to him and told him, oh, I was out of control. I had an attitude, blah, blah, blah. Because they lie on you. Lies, lies, lies. You can be as nice as you want to be. But start asking questions they don't want to answer. Honey, they're going to railroad you the hell up out of there. Because either they done made a mistake, they done damn near killed you, and they don't want to be sued. Not that I go around suing people. I've never sued anybody in my life. So anyway, so the doctor comes in and says, well, we're not used to people coming in and demanding things. I said, whoa. Excuse me, let's roll it up and back it up. I'm not afraid of no doctor. I respect that you went to school to learn what you learned, but I went to the school of hard knocks to learn what I learned. And I learned that I was not demanding a thing. I was following my doctor's orders on what I was supposed to receive to stay alive. It is not my problem that your respiratory therapist had 13 other patients. Because you know what? On her list of patients, I was on it. Okay? Now, the doctor that was on that night, since they knew now, Miss Tubi, Mom, was kicking up a ruckus, came in and told me the nurse never paged her to get me my medication. Well, now, the nurse seemed like every time I woke up was by my door watching me. She watched my respiration fall and rise. I had to report it for what the doctor said. I don't really believe that was the truth. And I told that to the hospital's higher ups. I said, now, I'm only going by what the doctor said. But I don't believe the nurse didn't page her. But if the nurse didn't page her, that's a medical error. Okay? Because I could have died last night. Not only that, I could have went into congestive heart failure. I say CHF, but it stands for congestive heart failure. Plus my heart has regurgitation where it pumps the blood backwards back into my lungs. And plus, you see my little breathing thing here, the hole in my damn neck, which I hate, but I've learned to live with. I take it as a test from God. Maybe a punishment. I don't know. Maybe a lesson. I don't know. But I hate it. But I'm learning to live with it because it keeps me alive. Or that's what they tell me. I'm getting stronger each day. I continue to push through. So anyway, I talked to several people. They asked me, what did I want done? Now, basically, at the end of the day, life is too hard. I am not, no matter how mean someone is to me or prejudiced, she didn't kill me. She just had a lapse in her judgment. So basically, I didn't want her fired, okay? She didn't hit me. She didn't, she didn't hurt my feelings really, because my armor is thicker than that. But I said, she needs sensitivity training. She needs to know how to talk to someone, especially someone who's ill, someone who's suffering. You don't walk into someone's room condescending, talking to them like they're an idiot. Even if they don't understand, you take the time to make them understand. You don't have to take pills if you don't know what they're for, or they don't sound familiar to you. Because let me tell you, people make mistakes. I take 19 medications. If something you're reading off to me sounds off, I'm not taking it. Or you're going to have to explain what that medication is. Now, a lot of times, it's all in pharmaceutical and who sells what to what hospital. Some may use Pepcid for GI reflux. Some may use Zantac. Does the same thing. It's just which one the hospital chose to carry and buy from what pharmaceutical company. So what I'm trying to tell you, there's a lot of heart medications, blood pressure medications that are the same thing but go by different names. And if you really get upset or confused about that, just remember that Tylenol is acetaminophen. Now, you can go in the dollar store and get acetaminophen, and sometimes it works better than Tylenol because it only has to be 80% correct, okay? Pharmaceuticals don't have to have it 100% correct all the time. Just a percentage of it correct. That's why sometimes Tylenol will take care of your headache, and sometimes it won't. Sometimes your heart medication makes you feel great. Sometimes it takes about a week or two before you feel great. So I'm not trying to make this a super long video, but I did want to inform you that, yeah, I will never go to that hospital again. I'm sorry. You don't get another chance to kill me like that. So I'm going to have to switch back to my other hospital. And my other hospital was wonderful. And the only reason I had to change hospitals and all my doctors is because my insurance company stopped covering the doctors that I had. Okay? They were, quote, unquote, out of the network. Okay? But that won't happen this year because I will find the right insurance that covers the doctors that I want to see for my medical condition. Because like I told them, you don't run this. I am my advocate for my medical health. Okay? Not you. It's me. At the end of the day, I say what you're going to be able to do to me and not be able to do to me. I say what pills I'm going to take, what pills I'm not going to take. Because you let them do willy-nilly, you will come out looking, thinking, and acting like a space cadet. Okay? And if I'm not capable, if I'm in Wawa or La La Land, or my heart gives out where I go into a coma again, then I pray to God, Mike, that the good Lord gives my children the right words to say. And they govern over my medical care. But there is no doctor on this earth is going to make me do anything. And they shouldn't make you do anything. That's why they call it second opinions. Okay? You be your best advocate. You be your family's best advocate. Because I'm sorry to say, the medical teams are overworked. Some may have love in their heart. But when you're overworked, overtired, you make mistakes. So stay on alert. Be aware of what's going on in the hospital so you make it out of the hospital. I did. I'm still kicking. I hope I inspire you to speak up for yourself, to not let them make you feel inferior, because you are not. You take out your phone and you Google it and you read it. And if you don't understand it, you call the doctor in and let him explain it to you. Because no doctor is supposed to administer care without you completely understanding what you're doing. That's why you sign for surgery. That's why you sign for your care. So, like I usually say, this alarm, I can't stand it, but it's keeping me alive, people. It's Sunday. I'm home, out the hospital. So as I say, I'm spitting on my phone too. Peace. Well, can you see my two fingers? Peace out. And may God blessings rain upon your home. This is To Me Mom saying over and out.